Let's check out on how to on initial setup. Account access. We can access DBT using dbt.com to create an account and pick the required plan or do a free trial account. When an account is created, each account gets a specific URL assigned to it. For this demo, I already have a DBT account created. I will use my account URL, which is right here, pasted on the web browser, and then I'm going to enter my credentials, username, which is normally a email address, and then password. Now we are in DBT. Okay. Before we start developing, first step is to set up DBT project. This is first time, one-time setup for the team to collaborate on, one setup by the project owner for the team or enterprise. Team members collaborate on the same project. As part of the project setup, we set up data platform connection for the team or enterprise plan, in which team members collaborate on the same connection. Each project can have only one connection to the data platform. We also set up the source code repository connection, one set up by the project owner, the team or enterprise plan. Team members collaborate on the same repository. Let's switch to DBT for the demo. When an account is created, DBT automatically creates a project named Analytics. As you can see in the top left corner, there's already a project created for us to start using it. We can configure the project to customize to our needs. To check out the current account settings, we click on at the very top right corner, gear icon, account settings. Here's the DBT URL. As you can see, the DBT URL, which I mentioned earlier, each account gets assigned a particular DBT URL where you can directly go and access from this URL instead of going to dbt.com. Now, to configure the project, click on Projects. Analytics is the default project it gets created. So we click on Edit. And we can change the project name, such as EDH project or whatever name we would like to name the project as. So instead of Analytics, I'm going to name it as EDH project. And let's save this one. We can put in a description. And save it. Then we will configure the data platform connection for the project by clicking Connections. In the connections here, as you can see, configure connections. And here, the different connections are available to different cloud data platforms. So DBT can work with various different cloud data platforms such as Snowflake, Postgres, Redshift, Databricks, Fabric, Synapse. But for this demo, we are going to use Snowflake. Connection name, I'm going to input as Snowflake Dev as a connection name. And under settings, account is the Snowflake account ID. We can get this from our Snowflake account portal. Setting up Snowflake account is out of scope for this learning. You can set up a 30-day free trial Snowflake account if you don't have one already in place. Let's check out my current Snowflake account, which I am already logged into. To enter the correct account, Snowflake account, DBT will be connecting to the Snowflake. We go to account, highlight the account, and then we copy the URL. Then we switch back to DBT and paste the account and take out the .snowflakecomputing.com, and then we take out the HTTP as well. So the account expected in DBT for Snowflake needs to be in this particular format. Database and data warehouse. For this demo, I already set up a database and data warehouse in Snowflake named IDS. And this is where the transform data will be deployed to. Going to switch to Snowflake and show we already have a database. Under databases, as you can see, IDS. And we are going to use a default warehouse, which is a compute warehouse. The warehouses, as you can see, this is the compute warehouse. So if you have a different warehouse setup for Snowflake, you could name it here. But for now, for the demo, I'm using the compute warehouse. And then we click Save. One other thing I wanted to mention for the whitelisting of the IPs here in this, make sure these IP addresses are whitelisted in Snowflake network policies if your Snowflake access is blocked to public access. Now we are done with configuring the cloud data platform. Next, let's work on configuring the source repository connection, where our project source code will be stored. Clicking on project again, and then as you can see here, the connection we already defined Snowflake Dev, which is to the data platform. Now we are going to configure the repository where our source code will be residing. Click on configure repository. For the demo, we are going to use GitHub. Before we link GitHub account, we need a GitHub. You need a GitHub account to be set up in place. If you already don't have one, you can create a free GitHub account by going to github.com. For the demo, let's check out my GitHub account, which I am already logged into. I went ahead and created I'm going to create a new repository here and name it as dbt_demo. And this will be a private repository. And I'm going to hit the create repository. So now the repository is in place. It's currently empty. There's no files inside it now. Let's switch back to DBT. To link the GitHub repository of a project, we go back to DBT, connect DBT GitHub account, click on this. It will take us to GitHub's site, and then to install, we can grant access for all repositories, or we can select a specific repository, for example, the one we just created, and install. What it does is it gives GitHub is giving access to DBT to be able to read write source code into this particular repository, and it takes us back to our DBT. Now let's review the project settings. Now the project is named EDH project. Go to account settings, click on the project. So you can see now project has been renamed. Now the repository is going to show up here. Click on that demo repo. Now it's all linked up. The repository is linked up, the connection is all linked up. So we can now close it. And we have successfully completed initial one-time setup of project repository and also data platform connection.